Joey Galloway got all Florida State's the odd man out because no one really buys them. Once upon a time, Florida State would have been in there. Michigan and Washington were consistent all year, beat competition, so gotta acknowledge. Bama beats Georgia. They got one loss. I'm not sold on Bama, but they there. And Texas done had some hardship, but they there. So it's bound to be controversial. Even as big as I am as a Michigan fan, I think this year you can make the case that this year in particular, I would say that there's probably about, you could go to an 18 playoff. I'm not really sold that the Final Four is the end all be all. This particular one. What's up? What's up, Ted? I hadn't heard that. I hadn't heard that one. Who are your sources? How you doing, man? Prayers and thoughts are with you. Well, you know what? He definitely knows how to coach up ego. And you remember where he got fired with Colin Kaepernick. So Josh Allen, because I like that one, Ted. I appreciate that. That's the only way Josh Allen is going to have hope. Because he's a guy that people see as a superstar and they think top tier, and I do too. But I'm going to tell you like this. And this is why I always give Phil Jackson his due, or Pat Riley, but especially Phil. People say, well, yeah, you're going to win when you had Jordan and Pippen and Rodman, and you had Shaq and Kobe. Well, but you got to have a coach who knows how to coach up ego. Coaching ego is the hardest thing. Because if it was so easy, everybody would do it. Everybody ain't cut out for it. I saw Doug Collins coach Michael Jordan, and they weren't a championship team. Just saying. I saw Dale Harris have Shaq, Kobe, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones win a championship team. I'm just saying. It says something about certain guys who just know how to come in and get the job done. Just saying. So, but yeah. Doug wasn't great though. Only Doug. Okay. Doug was a decent coach. He could coach up a young team. Doug Collins to me was like a broke Larry Brown. He could coach up a young team, but he could only go like maybe a round two. Wasn't quite next round. Marty Schottenheimer, Josh Allen had him. He might get to, because Marty Schottenheimer was the failed version of what Andy Reid became the right version, if that makes any sense. Because Schottenheimer, he could coach offense. He just couldn't clean on defense. He did. Okay, remember he dogged Washington's former owner, Snyder, and ended up being the coach and got fired. But he did great. I'm like, Marty could coach during the regular season. He's one of the greatest coaches regular season. To me, the man that I come to think of was like Buck Showalter. Because Buck Showalter lost a lot of rings in baseball. Joe Torre replaced him with the Yankees. Bob Burnley replaced him in Arizona. We're going to see what happens with the Mets. But if you count the rings that Torre got 4, no, Torre got 5. Torre got 4. Yeah, Girardi got that 1. 4, and Brendan got 1. 5 rings that he left on the table. Who would I compare McDermott with? Well, McDermott is kind of like his former situation in Carolina, Ron Rivera. That's who I kind of think of, because you're talking about a guy who one side of the ball, but not too bright on the other side of the ball. But I got to get back on that one, because McDermott did get to the playoffs. But do I look at him? That's a good question. Who would I compare Sean McDermott with? Who comes to mind? I can answer it if the Bills win a Super Bowl with them. It's going to be a bit hard, but I just know he just think the dude to be the finisher. That's all I can say. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think he did well enough, but he hit his peak when they lost that game But Mahomes came back that 13-second playoff classic, and it never was the same again. And I just don't think it's going to get any better. And all his playoff losses, they've been something bad. They blew the game. The Jacksonville game was cute, even though they lost. That was a good game. But the Houston game, Deshaun Watson got out of that tackle. They lost that game. They had the lead, blew that game. Got routed that first Kansas City. Should have won the second one with Kansas City. And then got ate up and beat up against Cincinnati. So he had no chances. Yeah, but Brian Billick was pushed as some kind of offensive guru. And that didn't really look like much. But Billick did get that ring. I don't know if McDermott going to ever get that ring. I just don't think so. I don't think so. I think ego is a big thing. I think, I'll tell you like this, it takes a certain type of coach to coach ego. I've learned that. You got to have a certain ego. If you don't have it, you're going to get trampled. You know, especially in football and a quarterback. Guy got to buy into what you're selling. He's got to be in. Because Tom Brady showed you that with Belichick and how Belichick looked. Yeah, well, they beat Seattle, and that's the best game Seattle played all year. So I don't know if I get too excited. Because Seattle, Metcalf with that burst, Dallas defense got exposed. Lamb can ball, but he seems to be underachieving. I'm still not sold on Tony Pollard. I got to see when they had this run against Miami and Buffalo and Philly. And I'm not ready to. He's playing good, and he's not throwing many picks, but I'm just not sold as them as that type of team. I'm not sold on their defense. I'm not buying the running game. And Dak's, he's solid. He's doing really good. He looks better than what he is because of what's going on. They should have beaten him the other day. They should have won that game. Poochie missed that kick for the Seahawks. And Geno looked like the new drug Geno. Then he looked like the old one. They should have won that game. I don't know. They should have beat Dallas. Did everything on offense except finish the game. If you go in there and put 35 on them, and, Skip Bayless can see what he wants on TV. They were very lucky in that game. Because I watched the Seahawks against the 49ers, and they was getting their butt clocked at home. And they come out to Dallas and play like that. They're a dangerous average team. But I'm not sold on them, though. But, I'm not big on Seattle. But Dallas, good enough. What I call a high second tier, lower first. But do I buy them as this team that could go and win the Super Bowl? No. Not what I saw. I haven't seen that yet. I ain't forgot about Frisco waxing that butt. I ain't forgot about Arizona waxing that butt. Or coming up short against Philly. That's a heavyweight fight. I got to go with Philly. I'm going to tell you why. Mr. Hurt, they win by any means necessary. I know they won't say it, but if Jalen Hurts said Malcolm X was his hero by any means necessary, I mean it. I think he's the difference. I just do. I think 49ers got the better personnel. Frisco should be the favorite. Frisco should be the favorite to win the Super Bowl. They got everything. But something about Jalen Hurts, that cat's special. I'm not sold on Philly's coach, but I'm not sold on Frisco's coach either. Shanahan kind of leaves me a little empty, a little cold. So I got to give Philly the edge. They're the best team I didn't see that gets it done. Talent-wise, it's Frisco. But the heart and the man on the field, it's hard to go against Philly, man. It's hard. Buffalo should have beat them. I didn't see 4 or 5 games. They would have lost if they were a lesser tier mental team. They just wanted more. The game ain't never over. They just want it. Frisco got more talent. So it comes down to what you're looking at it from. If you're looking at it from the skill set, I'm going with Frisco. But if you're looking at it from the heart, what's up? What's up? You and K, how you doing? Because Belichick and their history and this romanticism, But he ain't gonna catch no Don Shula. He might catch talking to Don Shula at the tombstone, but he ain't catching Don Shula on the field no time soon. They suck. Eagles are the best one. Yeah, Philly is a complete team. It's just that you ask me, I think Frisco got more talent in spots, but Philly is that's hard. I just think they're gonna do things. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And if he had them 6 rings, he would have been ran off. If I know it's tough to fire a guy with his success. I get it. But you bring in Mac Jones and you and Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator, you either should get fired or they should get you a straitjacket and take you away. Because, I mean, really? Really? For me, yeah. Yeah. Walsh coached both sides. And he set Steve Young up for success. And the scary part about Walsh, the first part with Montana with Roger Craig, then you get Jerry Rice, then you forget about Ronnie Lott, Fred Dean, those cats. I mean, Matt Millen too, who I like to forget. But anyway, yeah, Walsh was incredible mind. Incredible mind. Belichick's a great defensive coach, and he's one of the greatest coaches ever, but he is getting exposed so bad without Brady that I can't even tell you another, unless you want to mention Greg Popovich with the Spurs, but this is even worse than that. Well, Peyton Manning was a unique quarterback caller because he fed off of what the defense was throwing. So it's like he beat you at your own game. It's a chess match. But Dungy was, when you can take Sean King and get to an NFC Championship game with that dude, and you almost beat the Rams, the Ricky Pro don't hang on to that ball by Kurt Warner. I remember that game. Dungy got 2 rings. John Gruden got his ring on the side. He know good and well that's his ring. They weren't. But Peyton Manning had to buy into it too, because when they won the Super Bowl, they had to play a certain way to beat the Bears. They weren't going to win with him being razzle-dazzle because he wasn't much in the postseason. That's the only reason why Peyton Manning isn't lauded as the GOAT quarterback or higher, because not only his ring count, but he just wasn't the same dude in the postseason. He kind of had Greg Maddux syndrome. Atlanta pitcher. Great regular season, postseason, and that's kind of how Peyton Manning was. And Jim Caldwell got him back again, and you know what happened against the Saints. Super Bowls aren't that memorable for a guy who's, you can make the case, one of the 10 greatest quarterbacks. You make a say just outside the top 5 for me, but just wasn't big time like that. Just wasn't big time like that. That's how I look at that. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that's how I look at that, the NFL. But anyway, Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama, Final Four college. I'm pulling for Michigan. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Puffy news. Back coming up. They won't touch Jim Caldwell. And Caldwell was the last great coach. Well, we'll see what this cat does with Detroit. They're doing good right now, but Caldwell was legit. Caldwell, you know, when you black, you don't get but so many chances. I want Josh McDaniel for cameraman. No, I'll take him for cameraman. Yeah, as a coordinator, yeah, I'll give him that. As a coordinator, yeah. But he sucks as a head coach. I mean, the Jimmy Garoppolo experience went down the tubes because he just couldn't, he did it with Jake Plummer in Denver. I mean, nothing changed in what, 10, 12, 13 years? 13 years, didn't it? Did Ohio State lose yesterday? I forgot because I know we beat them, but, well, they want Alabama in the mix. They do. They want them there. I'm not 100%. You know what? The parity of college football right now loans themselves to being there because I'm not sure. I'm pulling for Michigan. I'm not sure who's the better team. I mean, Washington is very good. They win close, nip-tuck games, but I'm not sold on them. I don't know who I'm sold on. But it could be Alabama. I mean, next due for a rain. They want them back. I just wish college football had some real parity because it just always seems to be the same old mix. So they really didn't want Washington. And Washington had lost one game. It wouldn't. Nah, I'm glad he's there. I mean, as a Michigan fan, I'm glad. We've been a better team. That's all. We've been able to hit some big plays against them. That's all. That's all it really is. We blew that one game with that punt, with that one wobble for that a couple games against Ohio State we should have won. So it's just, these things go tie to tie. Ohio State ain't got nothing to feel sorry about. They still better than 85, 90% of teams. It's just that finishing up. And I think their defense has been a little bit underwhelming. That's all. Yeah. Bama, could do it. Yeah, I know all about that big time. I mean, I think the Pac-10 should have stayed what it was. I don't like all this change. They trying too much. We'll see. Sometimes you gotta leave college football alone. That's how I feel about it. But we'll see what that means, though. We'll see. But I know they want Bama in the mix. Michigan versus Alabama. Doubt Alabama on Washington. Well, with any back, I would say depends on where he go. The Bills don't need him now. We got a good James Cook is good. He just got to be utilized the right way. Ain't got no problem with running back. If they stop letting Josh Allen run all the time, but we ain't got no problem with a running back. That's not our problem. We need another receiver. That's what we need. A playmaker. Why they didn't go after Mike Evans or Devontae Adams or something? Or, I don't know. Well, I'm going to say this about that. Usually if you're 4-8, you don't get Sportsman of the Year. He caught a lot of hate and flack, and it's almost like they're trying to make it like a Jackie Robinson thing. It's a disrespect to Eddie Robinson and Black college. It's a disrespect that to say that a Black man couldn't be a college football coach on that level. I think Dion did okay. He came up short because he doesn't have the talent. He doesn't have the depth, and he doesn't have the commitment. They should have been 6-6. They lost a couple of games just going through the motions, and it was a humbling experience. But I mean, if SI wants to make him there for different reasons, I ain't got no problem with it. I don't want Julio Jones at this stage, but I would say Hopkins or Mike Evans for sure. Mike Evans would be like the modern day Andre Reed with the slant and the curl for the Bills. Perfect. D-Hop could be deadly. That's what they need. They missing that kind of player to complement Diggs. But as far as Whitlock hating, I mean, I think Dion just needs better pieces, that's all. They're not that far off. Not that far off at all. Because college football shows you that. You just got to get the right couple pieces. Think about it. They were 4-8, lost 6 straight games, and they lost 2 of them games they should have won. So you remember, you need 5 wins to be a bowl eligible. 6, you're legit bowl kind of. So there you go. Ain't not that far off. But they got to have a better mindset. You can't be giving up 40 points every game and, being cute and playing to the cameras. You got to ball. So that's how I feel about that. That's my problem with that right there. you know. So thank you for mentioning that. I did my videos. I don't know if you checked them out. And I talked about Kyrie Irving and Josh Giddey. I told you, you done heard about passport brothers from America that go overseas and meet these women's. Well, the passport brothers really are the white cats in the NBA. That's the passport brother. See, the Giddey thing ain't about just what you think. It's also he could get he could be what the word I want to say. Send your butt back to where you come from. You are oh, help me out. I'm not thinking right now. You are not demoted, but you I can't think of it right now, but you know what I'm getting at. You know, you disallowed in the States. They won't. Malika, because she doesn't say anything that's threatening. She ain't a threat. And Stephen A is going to stay simping. But if Giddey got deported, that's what it is. He gets deported. The Adam Silver wants that NBA, the white passport brothers. That's the agenda. Yeah, that's what's going on. Giddey ain't going to get his passport revoked. It's too much money. That's what they doing. I heard about this. I haven't paid it a lot. Her mama came out and talked about it. She looks light, you know, the whole, she goes French Creole. I mean, I don't know what to make about her because I don't pay her a lot of mind. I'll tell you this. Very talented performer, very overrated artist. Should have been the love child of Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, talent-wise. Never care for her songs. Never care for the hype she got. Puts on a strong show, you know, energetic. Tina Turner Jr. Whopper, you know, but just MIA for me. Because Charles is bought and paid for. Just like Shaq's bought and paid for, just like Reggie Miller's bought and paid for. They bought and paid for. You can't be that black and that yap, and the white folks not call you out on it. Also, because I know you're a little bit younger and I'll share this with you. David Stern, when he was commissioner, put a lot, he was a lawyer. Like Clive Davis is a lawyer. I'm going to address that one you just put. And a lot of these players and athletes had some sideline issues that didn't get hurt. So they got to trade in they behind for they behind, if you know what I mean. It's like Karl Malone did, Magic did. Jordan had a situation with a white chick. Wasn't the daddy, had to pay money. It's a lot of stuff you don't hear about that they may go away. So they'll let you talk, but you got to stay on code. I can't agree with you on that. I'll take Mariah over Beyonce, but I won't take over Janet. Janet had classic albums. Janet had classic songs. Mariah's a better vocalist, I'll give you that. But a lot of Mariah's songs are sample loop. Vision Love, she got a handful of songs I like. But Mariah, We Belong Together, I know. But Janet had a better, longer run. Janet was a benchmark. She changed the game for females. And she got out of her brother's shadow. She was something else. Mariah's pen game, but I got to give it to Janet. Beyonce's a better live performer. Can match her singing wise. Mariah got a better catalog. So that's a good little threesome right there. They each got something that I like that the other got. But if I had to pick out of them three, I'm taking Janet over both because she's got classic albums, Control Rhythm Nation, classic songs, more depth, more longevity. And she can match Beyonce on stage and she'll wipe the floor of Mariah on stage. Mariah got the better voice, but Beyonce puts it better vocally a bit on stage, but Janet got them all around beat. So that's a good one. Yeah, well, Reggie been shuffling. I mean, you know, he sits up there like he's doing a black version of Marv Albert, like, oh, this is great and all that. And he does his Wendy's commercials. I mean, he don't eat no bacon breakfast sandwiches. And he played against Jordan and played pickup games with Magic and them back in the day. So, but hey, he had his little issues too. with that chick who burnt the house or something, because I remember it. And I'm old enough to remember when Cheryl was the better Miller in the family, too. His sister was actually the better baller. Just saying. And you can tell Too Raw to do a video on that. I don't think he will, but I said it. Cheryl was something else. If they had the WNBA back in the day, Cheryl was bad. Cheryl was bad. Reggie could shoot and play all that, but I thought Cheryl was better. I'm going to keep it 100 on that. Sister was something else. But I never really cared for him publicly. I always thought he was a snobby Cali brother. Beach brothers, we call them. Uppity, stiff. I never felt he was woke. He seemed stiff to me. He was kind of robotic. He got a little hip in spots, but I didn't think he wasn't like Barkley. Who was the blackest cat on the Pacers team? That's a good question, because I think you got to go back to, I got to think about that. But Reggie was a crossover brother. He played tough. He did those little, but I didn't, he did some things. But I wasn't really thinking he was that deep, though. I mean, you saw how deep he was with Kyrie, so do I need to say anymore? I mean, that pretty much put that nail in that coffin. Yeah, Mary J, yeah. First 2 albums. Because, I mean, she came out with Hip Hop Soul Queen. Yeah. Definitely Mary J. Better albums. Now, Beyonce's a better singer and live performer, because Mary sucks live. She's unless she's drunk. I heard that live album back in 98, and she scared me and cursed all through it and all that. But if you ask me who got the better songs, albums, Mary. Beyonce got the better impact, but she ain't got the catalog to see Mary. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I think they were better than the 92 Knicks, because the 92 Knicks were physical, but they didn't have anybody like Reggie Miller on the perimeter. They didn't have the intangibles to take it 7. I think the Pacers' problem is at them days, but no one could get a rebound. That's what cost them. But Amari's a model. And aside, unless you remember him playing for the Suns and he had that window of a run, you don't really remember his career. He had a nice window, and he was talented, but he couldn't play no defense. He couldn't play no half-court ball. That's why him and Shaq didn't work together, and he was a run and gun dude. He had a moment, but he's a shuffler. And I don't really pay him a lot of mind, and his career is pretty forgotten. He's up there crying. I don't. Vince is a corporate brother, but Vince is cool. I'm going to tell you, you can be corporate and be cool if you because Vince never changed. He was always Canada Dry ginger ale. I never felt that Vince was being something he wasn't. He had a rawness and a vibe to him, but he was never a cat that you felt was street and scary. But he was a cool brother. He played his role. So I never felt, Vince was cool. Now I'll say this: you can say he underachieved. We talk about that. He had the tools to be one of the 10 greatest players ever, maybe top 6, maybe top 5. I mean, got the 3-ball going. Lord knows that guy could hang in the air. Best dunker ever to me. Put on a show. But he got kind of stagnant. Kind of just like a soft mentality, kind of went with the flow. But skill set, Kobe will tell you. Would have told you. And he had it before T-Mac did. T-Mac will get the better praise overall, but Vince was a freak. And therefore, a small window, he was must-see TV in the NBA for a small window. Because late 99 till probably about 02, Shaq was the best player going, and Duncan was up there, but Vince was like that dude that non-bigs, including Kobe and including AI, he was must-see. Yeah, T-Mac, yeah. But, you got to remember, I mean, they're going to save us so much. I mean, you know how it is when you deal with these white folks on TV. I did a video today about that Julian Margulies, what she said about black folks need to be worried about that war over there. And I said, you need to go find you some food and fatten your behind up, stop Botoxing. I mean, no. Cats do themselves a disservice trying to appease the white publications and stuff. And like I said before, you can have friends and have wives and, you still black. I tell it all the time. Don't act like because you got some kind of business or association that they're not going to call you out. They will call you out. Yeah, well, we don't really talk about Doc Rivers too much. That he's a brother that's had a lot of opportunities. And sometimes I wonder if he's got video on people because he goes everywhere and he tends to blow it. He got it right in Boston, even though he didn't get it all the way right. But the Clippers and the Sixers, it's like, come on, man. What the heck are you be doing? He thinks too much. He out-coaches himself. I see the Sixers, Nick Nurse is getting it done. Maxey's the second option. He ain't gonna mess it up. And I don't know if you're gonna have Vin Baker syndrome. As long as you don't have Dwight Howard syndrome. We don't want you having Dwight Howard syndrome. And no, Dwight's not canceled. He just kind of like in that puffy orbit right now, but nobody gets canceled. But no, you'll never let me live the Vin Baker down. But yeah, that was a hilarious. He was once upon a time a good player. Could have been a very good player. And I just think, yeah, got a nice young squad. I like what they're doing. Miami better tighten up because Orlando could come out there. There could be a problem. Yeah, well, he always was a bandit, though. He always was a bandit. The Cats knew. Yeah, and there's no secrets in these circles. See, this is what's so fake about brothers in sports and brothers in Hollywood. People be lying. If we hear this stuff and we suspect on these streets, they didn't heard it 30 different ways. I mean, when he grabbed cats all the time. When Durant called him out, Kobe called him out. Starburst gangbanger. But can he play? See, problem with him is that he don't play. He play too much, you see. And he be grabbing wrong balls when he be playing, and that's why he can't get no job. He would have been a good fit for Golden State right now. He did. Kobe said that about that NBA ref too. Kobe ran his mouth about that, but they knew. Yeah, Durant called him too. A lot of them knew about the white. They knew. But they couldn't say nothing publicly because A, they would be slanderous, and two, the big brothers watching the NBA. But I will tell you this, there are booty bandit starburst crews in the NBA. It's in all the sports, but the NBA got it. Told you T-Mac came out and said it 20 years ago. And I don't know if he was talking about Steve Francis and Cuttino Mobley, but it's there. Well, he got away with what they allowed him to get away with. That goes on a lot more than you think. You'd be surprised. NFL too, baseball too. All sports. Because Mike Tyson, had to go through it when he was coming. I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard too. You'd be surprised. And they look for, there's things they look for. It's not, cats know who to try to, some cats know who they're going to target. They don't target everybody. They got away with it because the owners look the other way. Because when you run a plantation, you don't care as long as you bring me my money. I don't care. So, that's what's up. A lot of stuff going on. Because there's a chick right now on Vlad TV. She was a cheerleader for the Hawks or something. And if you look on Vlad TV, she's talking about the white. She's talking about him like a dog. I don't know who's talking more worse, her or the dude that's on Art of Dialogue who used to work with Bad Boy, and had a book out 10 years ago talking about Puffy. I don't really want to hear about Puffy, Dwight Howard, or R. Kelly, nobody like that, because when the money was flowing, you ain't say nothing. Now cats is at the end of the ropes, and they might get cases, or they're getting sued, or this. Everybody got something to say. Don't come out with it now. Coming out with so-and-so tried to grab me. You didn't say that when you back then. That's what crack. That's why it's so fake. That's why it's so fraudulent, because now everybody's like, oh yeah, he was a freak. Oh yeah. Like Columbus Short coming up talking about Puffy and the booty call. And I'm like, look, I forgot what Columbus Short looked like. I had forgot all about him. If I don't watch Stomp the Yard twice a year, or that other movie he was in, that Christmas movie, then Chris Brown was in it. Yeah, you see what I mean? I gotta go way back in the Soul Train history books to remember. I'm trying to hear all that. Your money been funny, now you coming out the woodworks like a lost groupie. I ain't trying to hear that. So that's all. They won't. Rapey Burger got them rings, mild-mannered white guy, played for Pittsburgh Steelers. Good family man. They're not gonna touch him. He'll fool around and be just like that dude that's Matt Knopf, whatever that turkey is that became Supreme Court Justice. Same type. Steven Tyler, he's got some Negro in him. They're not gonna touch him. He would have been like the poster child for it. I know about him. They not touching him. They not touching him. It's a selective who they go after. It's selective. They go after who they want. It's still going on. Do you think just because they lock up R. Kelly or come after Puffy, or they come after Dwight Howard or somebody like that, that there ain't others? Shh, please. It's still going on. None of that stuff changes. It's just that they pick who they want. You talk too much, or you're not making them no money, and you act like you're going to be a problem, they come after your behind. Puffy's money wasn't funny, would never been coming out. Because there's 1,000 Cassies out here who got stories. If I'm lying, what's that producer, Dr. Luke and Cashapp? Cashapp she came out against Dr. Luke, till 2014. Dr. Luke still be making records. Rolling Stone did a story about it. It's funny how they come out about Puffy, but Dr. Luke still making records. I'm not trying to hear that fakery. Yeah, he do. And he's got that blues tone in him too. But he looks a mutt, so he's not a threat. He played his cards right. A lot of money. Got a hustle in him. Now, they don't come after everybody that has some Negro in them. I can tell you people that are black who done stuff. Jimmy Iovine, they came after him. They ain't saying about Dr. Dre. Them headphones, I can give you a billion reasons why. And Dre was notorious. Will they come after Jay-Z? Time will tell. I'll tell you. But they pick more blacks. They always have like a token white, but they pick more blacks. But there's some cats who don't get picked. Some don't. No one cares about Scott Baio. Scott Baio tried to be a conservative. He slurps Trump. He's a hater. Italian boy who was a fourth tier talent out of 3 tiers. And he's still stuck. And he went with all them girls. And he didn't even have a Charlie Sheen career. Couldn't even get a movie with him. It was except for Bugsy Malone, if you go back that far. They're not going to come after him. I remember Scott Baio very well. Very well, because I grew up watching Happy Days and Bugsy Malone with him and Jodie Foster. And Jodie Foster had a career. Scott Baio had a moment. He was Chachi. That's who I call Jimmy Garofalo. If you ever seen in my videos, I call him Chachi. Because Chachi was always the cousin to the Fonz, but he was never the Fonz. And that's what I call Jimmy Garofalo. Old slick-haired Italian boy who always had to look up to the bigger, better kinfolk. Yeah. So wasn't much to him. Not much. Oh, I don't know. You got to refresh my memory because I remember I heard. Oh, yeah, I heard about him. Yeah, I heard about him. Well, listen, we could be here all night talking about who should be canceled or not. Rob Lowe should have been canceled. Rob Lowe be doing them Slim Fad, them NutriBar commercials. And he had a video with a 16-year-old girl back in 89. Put a mustache on him. And they don't talk about Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe was a pretty boy who was on the Tiger Beats. Should have had a Tom Cruise kind of run. They started him off like that, and no. So, well, Quincy, what I began, Quincy was articulate, brother, and got in good with white folk. And he got in with the jazz cats, and he was one of those cats that, was considered debonair and suave. I don't know how he really was, but that's the coolness he gave off. Yeah, I'm quite sure. Because that's how it go. That's how it go. Everything coming up with Will Smith, and I don't think Tupac was lying, and Professor Griff, I don't think they were lying. There is a rituals that go on there, and there's also, certain acts that hit and they don't. You got to play game. He should have been canceled. He had the Hive, the House in Virginia. You can look that up. And he did a lot of stuff, racist, but he ain't canceled. Somehow, Wall Street, which I like that movie a lot. He was a broke Tom Cruise. That Tom Cruise chain of cats, he's one of them. He's Mexican too, but he played white on TV. His daddy, yeah, don't get me started about Charlie Soul Out Sheen. See, black folks get called out for distancing himself from it. He distanced himself. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He ended up being poor white trash, even though he's Mexican blood. He ended up being white trash. Not surprised. I haven't seen his daughter's OnlyFans. But I seen a picture. I did see something, but I didn't really waste a lot of time with it because I never cared for Charlie Sheen. I did like him in Major League and Wall Street, but that's been like 35 years ago. I ain't really paid him much mind. Ain't money talks with him and Chris Tucker, but again, by that time, he was washed. And then he did Charles, and then they had that TV show, some mess. Yeah, I know. And I lost a couple of people on my YouTube followers because I called out Eminem. And they got upset. They got butt cheek hurt. But that's what a lot of them do. Now, I do like this Vanilla Ice interview he's doing on Vlad right now. He's addressing certain things, but yeah, I mean, most of them white boys use it to get through, and they got stuff. Kid Rock is just like a slave at that. Kid Rock is a great example of somebody that he's pro-white, got a black baby, and had a black girlfriend. Had Jodie Watley's daughter, something like that. Yeah, her daughter. I forgot something like that. I forgot. But anyway, good example, just like a slave master. But see, a black man does that, or a black woman does it, that people say, well, you can't be pro-black if you were somebody white. But white boys do it, and he got a Confederate flag, and he's like, what's the problem? See, so it cracks me up. And I also find them both to be overrated as artists. I think Kid Rock was an okay talent. in a Ted Nugent kind of way, better than Nugent probably, but I ain't really felt him. Yeah. Yeah. That's and the whole thing with the training, there's a whole thing with the light beard. The beard thing was ridiculous. Shooting his cans, and I mean, it makes no sense. First of all, in the business, in the business, them being anti-black is acceptable. Them being anti-gay is not because that, but the fact is that the industry has a lot of this thing going on. So I'm not, and I understand why he come out like that. But yeah, I mean that don't mean nothing. You know, people got it twisted. That's how the forefathers got off. That's how a lot of these presidents got off. They had senators, governors, black children. Shoot, like I said, most black people in America got a white cousin. Just they ain't gonna claim it come cookout time. But it's a double standard that, it's true. And they're pro-white. And they got black folks in their family. And they'll swear them down there on like ninjas. Yeah, I remember Tay Diggs. Yeah, I remember. She made some kind of lame excuse why it didn't work. Yeah. Yeah. I believe it. And he had the rock and hip hop thing going for a while, like around the biscuit stuff. And then he grew up on NW and all that. But he got very white. And people confuse politics as well as how I am and, with the music. And I'm never shocked or surprised. I know your tax bracket changes. I know your ideology changes to an extent, but sometimes people get it twisted though. So, yeah. Well, it would be hard to claim that as a parent if you're going to act like that because it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and goes like a duck. Yeah. One thing people don't ever understand, the uniform doesn't change, and that's what Tay was cut to be like a Sidney Poitier type of brother. Should have been on the mantle as a modern day Denzel. Theater actor just didn't have no range to hit it on the big screen, had the presence, but just didn't have the depth. So he is kind of like in the Blair Underwood situation, a cat that had the look and imagery to blow up to be a certain type of actor, but he didn't quite get to that point. That's a video worth having, the Tay Diggs, Blair Underwood, why they didn't reach Denzel level. Yeah. Why they didn't reach Chadwick Boseman's level either. Because Chadwick did what they didn't do. He did the movies, he blew up. And those cats had the imagery and the look, but they just didn't get it all out. And the basis didn't keep them going. Because if Tay doesn't do them Best Man movies or Stella, got a group, he had a little run, but not where he should have been. He's a smart aleck, but I don't think he's got Terrence Howard's range. Terrence got range. Terrence could be a top 5 actor. Terrence is his own worst enemy. He talked too much yang, and he didn't turn a lot of folks off. Talented cat, though. Very talented guitar player. Got range. Because Tay Diggs could never pull off no hustle and flow. I'm sorry. And Terrence is on screen, but Taraji, to do it on a TV show and a film, that dude's bad. But he either doesn't get the right vehicles or he didn't turn somebody off. It just doesn't add up where it should. Now Tay is Buppy Starbucks coffee actor. And he good for what he do. But it don't really go where it could have gone. Could have, like I said, should have been a, school teacher, professor, brother. Like he did do that one show I watched, not the Hills. It came on, he did play that role, but it should have been translated to movies, and it just didn't. It's like with Brown Sugar movie, Amon was good. if you the hip hop Purple Rain, if you will, if that's what you're cool with, because basically that's what it was. And he was a Prince fan, so that's how I look at 8 Mile. It's kind of like, and ironically, Kim Basinger was in it, one of Prince's former love interests, but pretty much that's how I looked at it. Yeah, he got that out. Got the Oscar. Dustin Hoffman got it. He wasn't present for it. You know, I don't know much of him as an actor, but it worked out for the time. I mean, you know, and you know, it worked. I mean, he was big for a minute. He was definitely big, and he could, you know, like I say, he could spit. I'm just not the biggest Eminem fan. I don't think there's a lot of depth to what he says, but as far as his bars, dissing, that's his strength. Production, not much. Not that much production. Mekhi Phifer was good on the sidekick role. Mekhi is a guy. Now that's Tay and Mekhi. You mix them two up, that could have been a really seriously great actor. That could have been, yeah. Well, them two was Menace for me. I like Boys in the Hood a lot, but Menace was more raw. I'm sorry, but the Burger King cat that was too. That's my step. They got too many quotes from him. Boys in the Hood was a well-directed movie and had some moment, but Menace was a little more raw to me because I thought Lawrence Tate, old dog. I'm like, yeah. Now MC8 overacted a bit, but I like, and that's when I used to like Jada Pinkett back then. Sharif was supposed to have been the Tupac character, but Tupac got into it, as you know. But Menace was my film. Boys in the Hood, I love Ricky, the Cube, the dynamics. Cuba was decent. Lawrence Fishburne was good in it, you know. I thought they did, but Menace was like on another, took it to another. Yeah. You know, so. But they both were great for different ways. I think they both were important. You know, they came out at a time when that side needed to be told, and how white America sees a lot of black cats in the hood, etc. Oh, I gotta remember what I know you're talking about off a Thin Line. Oh, Thin Line, because I never was that big on Tisha Campbell. Cute and lips, but I wasn't like blown away. I wasn't blown away. Thought she was, you know, wouldn't turn her down, but I wasn't like that with her. Wasn't like that with her, you know. But the Thin Line chick, yeah. Matter of fact, Winfield, the lead chick was bad too. Lynn Winfield bad too. So it wasn't no bad. There wasn't no wrong answer for Thin Line. But I was never, you know, Tisha probably looked the best to me. There was one scene I liked her in House Party 1 where, yeah, and then of course when she was in School Days. That's about my Tisha. But Tisha's cool. She used to be Lenny Kravitz's ex too. It's a long time ago too, but yeah. No, I don't want to remake of that. Cause it meant too much for the time. Sometimes they gotta leave well enough alone. You know how it's gonna turn out. Cats is either locked up or they're dead. I mean, that's how it always ends. So no, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I don't like all these remakes. No way. Shows how original Hollywood is. They come with some original. Hold up. They need to come up with something original. Can't do nothing with it. Can't do nothing with it. I'm good. Just, you know, let the movies be. They meant what they meant. And I'm good. I'm good with it. Nothing I can do with it. See what I got. I wouldn't want another one of it. I'm good with it. I understand for people who didn't get to experience it, but I'm good with it though. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, okay, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3 in it. I gotta go prime Hillary, Kim, and then Newton. That's how I gotta do it. Hillary was, yeah. Oh, I didn't waste my time with them joints. I mean, that's all he could get money for. And he's still in this delusion that he's Michael Jordan's son. And he gonna do everything like Mike, gamble like Mike, make movies. No. And no, I did not waste my time with the broke house party. I stopped with House Party 8 when they had IMX and then Marcus Houston went in. So no, I don't mess with them no more. So I don't do them no more. I'll let you tell me what you think. So I'm not touching them. I'm not touching them. But that's what LeBron could get a budget for. And people who wanted that, I guess they settled for it. But I wasn't feeling it. Not at all. No, I was too scared to even look at it. My cousin took my younger cousins to go see Space Jam 2 for the ones who ain't seen it. But I didn't want to see it. I did not want to see it. Well, I think it's got more to do with the fact that he just ain't happening no more. He's a piece of meat and he doesn't have the appeal like The Rock has. He's crossed over, but there's not much they can really he never really translated. I saw a couple movies he tried to act. He's just a big piece of meat. So I mean, he had to know that they weren't gonna mess with him forever. I mean, he ain't that, That's what happened. That's all I can say about that. Good question. Right now, oh God, great question. I'm probably gonna tell you, it's gonna sound strange when I say this. Probably Hubie Brown, because Hubie actually talks about the game. Well, I'll take that back. Doris Burke knows the game. I like the way she talks, so I'll say she's my favorite current because she bad. And if I gotta go old time, probably say Hubie Brown. Hubie. Probably say them too. Burke is bad. She bad. Thick white girl too. Cause I seen her. And she can throw and she can ball a little bit too. She cool. She cool. And see, she should be getting the kind of love that Rachel Nichols get too. Hubie's my old school favorite. I like how he walks a game. Bryn, Jack, yeah, I like all of them too. But I had to pick one. I take Hubie for back in the day. I like the way he would actually articulate the game. I like the way Hubie would actually break down sets. Cause see, he actually talks about sets. He doesn't just, he educates you when he's talking. So That's why I like it. So there I go. Yeah. I'm just setting up stuff because I'm already cooking a little bit. But they keep telling me it was blocked. Something they keep telling me was blocked. Okay, I got it. Yeah, that's what I liked about him. I like her for that too. And she had a little bit of knowledge, but she's such a tease, you know. She got something, but after Jimmy Butler, you know how that went down. And I don't trust her either. I don't trust her. Right here. Yeah. Just get ready to start cooking a little bit before I go. Got some veggie food going. Cook some veggie sausage and some green beans and some peas. Get stuff going. Yeah. But yeah, I like Huey. Huey could teach you X's and O's. He was kind of like the Larry Brown's coaching for the fan at home. Liked him. Rachel got it. And she ain't bad, you know, but so. Oh yeah, it happens like that. Well, Malika, problem is Malika got schooled a certain way. So, you know, that's how they teach you in the corporate world. You know, until she gets a wake-up call. But she's gotten a wake-up call. She knows what she learned. Sage Steele taught her real good, and others have taught her too. They don't come on there by accident. Them plantations are real. I tell you about ESPN plantation, Fox, all them plantation. He good except for two things. He always acted like he was 80 years older than he was. And he always tries to come off kind of condescending. He's got a little smugness to him. And a low-key bigot too. I've had some issue with Costas. I think he's a knowledgeable cat, but it's kind of like Bob Ryan. It's a little bit, bit arrogant, which sometimes it blurs the line. It's like, how much can I tolerate him? Not saying he don't know his stuff to an extent, but he gets a bit much to me. And he definitely likes to act hipper than now too. But makes me think Bob Costas is like, he was like the older version of Alex P. Keaton, Phantom Menace, Michael J. Fox. That's what it made me think of. A little bumpy uppity white boy, you know. And he used to be she is. Sage was the precursor. She was the precursor. She was the precursor. You know, you get trained on the job. You get trained on the job. Oh, ooh, NFL commentators. I used to like Al Michaels. I think Troy Aikman does a good job. I think Aikman does good. It's hard to say all the time. As much as he was a bigot and I couldn't stand him, he was incredible was Cassell. He was a standard. He really was a standard. Toupee and all. Because he made Monday Night Football legendary with his voice and his commentary. So he was kind of like a standard. I think Aikman is good. I like Al Michaels. I used to like Al Michaels. Um, but Tony Romo's really good. Jim Nance is great. So those guys. Yeah, Romo and Marino do good, but Romo's the one. He's got people think he's a Hall of Fame now. Collinsworth talks like some white boy who's been like he's like the serial bomber or something because he talks crazy. He don't even talk crazy like a Bill Walton. He just talks like a crazy white boy who is delusional. Who was a decent receiver, wasn't great. He talked crazy. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I'm probably gonna cut it in about 4 minutes because I'm gonna start cooking this meal up. Gotta get here and get this burn on, but yeah, I'm not big on Collinsworth. Oh, a whole lot of them. A whole lot of them. NFL. I wasn't that big on John Madden. I wasn't that big on um, um, Dennis Miller. I tell you who was great, even though he's got a great voice. He just kind of missed that tag himself. Mike Tirico was good. Just didn't have enough depth, but he was good. He knew his stuff. NBA commentators, most of the cats that are like, there's a difference between being a broadcaster and a commentator. Well, yeah, RG3, that's why he got the job. He had a crossover appeal. Should have been like the Andre 3000 of commentator or players, but you know how that turned out. Yeah, he's a shuffler. And Rob Parker was right when he called him a cornball brother. He's the king of them. One of them. One of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right here. Yeah, Tarico, tap dancing brother, but smart though. I mean, like, if you wanted a cat that could do it all, this cat covered every sport. Just was corny, but he could cover every sport. I mean, he did X Games and he got in, and he was a freak too, because you want to talk about cancel culture. Yeah, old Mikey, that was a freak. He chased a lot of skirts. Him and Chris Berman on the ESPN plantation. I don't know if you know about that or not, but yeah, there's quite a story about some of them escapades on the ESPN plantation. They just conveniently got them things swept under the carpet. I don't know if you heard about them too, but old Tarico and Berman and them, allegedly. Yeah, he was chasing skirts. Sure was. But he was smart. Cat though. Smart. Yeah. Oh God, this is calling. Sorry about that. Yeah, a freak. Because it was an ESPN, he was chasing skirts and he got in trouble, but they never talked about it. Yeah. You can look it up on Google. Yeah, that one got wiped under the table. I kid you not. I ain't picking on Mike Tirico. I know you look at him like Carlton Banks of being a cornball. He's a freak. That's what I'm trying to say. And see, the thing is that I remember it's on there. You can check it out on the Google streets. Yeah, they had some stuff with him. I read all. Ugh. Me and my homeboy used to crack up because there was a time when stuff was just like known. And Tarico's kind of like Matt Lowry. But see, he claims he's Italian because he is half Italian. So that's why he probably messed with him, because the Italian side of him. But yeah, he a stone cold freak. He a stone cold freak. Kid you not. Heard about old Mikey boy. He used to chase him. And Berman too. Berman got in trouble for talking trash. And you remember Tony Kornheiser made the remark about Hannah Storm's skirt got suspended. See, look it up. You don't believe me? That ESPN freak show is real. Them cats were saying and doing all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of cats got in trouble over there. But they never ought to get fired for sexual harassment, though. They get slapped on the wrist, not fired, though. Kid you not, though. A lot of them like that, though. A lot of that. Let me get this food ready. They all freaks. Because they didn't have any rules. But see, when they get to TV, they got to act like they, got to watch what they do. Yeah, Shannon already got some video now. He up to talking about it. Meg Thee Stallion or something. He said he turned her out with his girlfriends. He talked too much yang, though. They all do. It's just a matter don't get caught being too freaky. But yeah, if you go on Google at the ESPN Freaker page, you'll see a lot of what I'm talking about. Because Tarico, Tony Kornheiser, matter of fact, the white boy who was messing with Malik Andrew got, was it DUI? Was it the Stugatz? Yeah, got into some craziness. There's a lot of that stuff up there. And they always gave Dan Le Batard, and he said some stuff too. A lot of them. A lot of them. Yeah, Joey is thick. And she changed too. She got with, was it Earl Watson? And she was with some white boy before and that didn't work out too long. But Joey's bad. She do. Yeah, I still remember when, now I don't know if you too young to remember this, guy named Jim Everett was a quarterback for the Rams, and Rome had his show in the late 80s, and he kept calling him Chrissy Everett Lloyd, called him Chrissy Everett, and dude told him to shut up. And then Jim Rome called him Chrissy, and then he came and clotheslined him on TV. Those were the days. Jim Rome has some knowledge, cat, low-key troll, and one of them cats that stayed in his lane because he never blew up like he probably should have, but it's because he trolled a lot. But he had a lane, though. But I remember that. You should look that up with Jim Everett clotheslined him on TV. I never forgot that. That was pre-Jerry Springer, Geraldo Rivera. First time I seen a sports dude get clotheslined like that. White boy clotheslined. Because Jim Everett was a decent quarterback, but he threw some bad picks. So he's with the Rams back then, but that was funny. And Rome has always been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Can't tell if he's trolling or being serious. But he was everything that Dennis Miller never was in sports, though. Just saying. Yeah, I remember the Cheney. I remember that because Cheney was really gonna put pause on that throat. He about ready to put that Will Smith on. Well, Leland was a good manager for the Pirates. Bonds, Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke didn't quite reach full apex, but Leland was a good manager. He did win with the Marlins, so I can't even say that because he did win a ring. He did win a ring. Leland went to the Marlins and was successful, and he was a great manager. So I can't say that because sometimes you get a guy who, and if the Bills go and win, then that'll be what, then, Leland did win though. I just think you need a certain type of ego to coach a guy like Josh Allen, that's all. And I don't think that he's the dude. He's good, but you got to be great. You can't be Rudy Pooty. And I just think he's kind of Rudy Pooty. I think he goes somewhere else, he'll be all right. I'm going to close in about a minute and a half because I got my food. I just got through hitting his food up. So brother got to go get some food. Food plate is nice and hot. I remember that whole exchange. And then they later made up. But Bonds wasn't going to hear it from him. Barry was a hothead. Leland wasn't going to tolerate it. Leland was old school white boy, And the cats, now would Leland be able to manage today? I don't know. But he was good. He did good. He won in Florida. But cat like Bonds didn't want to be told what to do. So I get it. And he was disrespectful, no doubt. Anyway, I'm going to call it a day. Appreciate you coming through, Ted, and also other cat that came through earlier. Been some great questions. We touched on all topics as usual, sports, music, what's going on. So it's always appreciative. I will be back. Sometimes I like to do Thursday, Sunday. We'll see if I come back Thursday. I'll definitely back next Sunday. So we'll see how it goes through the week. But yeah, much appreciated for those who showed. Great questions as always. Prayer, thoughts, peace. Stay safe out there. Be careful. And till next time I catch you, I'm out. Peace.